Oh, there's a lion. Look out, there's a lion. There's a lion. Hey, there's a lion. That's a butchered version of that's a butchered English translation of the Swahili that is sung at the beginning of The Lion King. It's a rough translation. Yeah, it's complete. Yes. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna go see The Lion King today, guys. Yeah. So this is the first of these Disney remakes we were actually alive for the original for. Yeah, we were actually there on when we were 15 months old when the original Disney movie came out. Our mom specifically picked a late showing so that we would sleep through it. 25 years ago. God, we're old. Fuck, we're old. We're old enough that now we're old enough that movies when we were kids are being remade. They're remaking Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, people. But with this, we have a reimagining, remake, everything from the Jon Favreau, who gave us The Jungle Book 3 years ago. And 3 years ago, The Jungle Book was actually really good. We went to see it kind of later than everybody else, after everybody else was kind of saying that it was really good and people should see it. So we went out, we saw it. We have a whole video on it. We liked it, but as it turns out, we didn't like it enough to go to really have any interest in seeing it again. We never bought it on Blu-ray. It's on Netflix right now. Have not clicked on it once. Yeah, we really have not had any interest to see it again because it's just one of those movies where it's really good, but you never really need to. But you need to see it. But you can see it. Only really need to see it once. Yeah. So with this one around, we have again a reimagining. This time in a quote unquote live action setting. Yeah. The thing is that a lot of people do harp on it, say it's a live action. Some people say they're billing this as a live action movie. People harp on that because it's like it's not live action. And yeah, it's not live action. It's photorealistic. It's a new animation. It's a different animation style from the original. And really, probably the one thing that's dragging this movie down from the start is the fact that with most of these Disney remakes, the same problem. What reason does this have to exist? And kind of in some ways, that reason is Disney is member berries. I know it's kind of redundant to say that, seeing as that's literally the joke. The member berries are Disney saying, "Remember Star Wars? Remember Chewbacca? Yeah, I remember." But yeah, Disney is member berries. They want everybody to remember that they made these awesome things once. They want people to remember these awesome things that they own now. Yeah. So ultimately, that's what we're getting with this now third remake of the year. We got one more coming at Disney Plus, but that's at the very end of the year. And The Lion King, argued by some to be one of the greatest things that Disney ever made. Yeah. And it's like and it was kind of perfect placing. It was smack dab in the middle of the Disney Renaissance. It told an almost completely original story. Yeah, everybody basically says it's Hamlet, it's Kubo, it's Kimba the White Lion, it's a lion, it's a bunch of different it's a bunch of things, but I think but I've heard that it's actually built on a lot of different influences from a lot of different places, but it is to create one major story that everybody almost universally loves. Yeah, however, we're not talking about that. Because now, and 25 years later, they decided let's try again. Let's try to do it a little differently this time. So we got Jon Favreau directing. We have an all-star cast: Donald Glover, Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Keegan-Michael Key, Eric Andre, and of course, kind of the big ones are James Earl Jones returning as Mufasa, because you really couldn't recast Mufasa even if you tried. And then there's who they cast as Nala. Now, I'm gonna just say this: the second they announced this formally, I immediately thought, and I know that I am pretty much inviting a lot of flack on me for saying this, but
when they announced that Nala was going to be played by Beyonce, and it was not confirmed to be a rumor or anything, it was 100% Disney put this out there. I honestly thought it was kind of stunt casting, and not. The black SUV is suddenly following us really, really close.
Good for us, jackass.
Anyway, I thought this kind of felt like stunt casting because it kind of felt like Disney was like, let's guarantee a bunch of people in this movie. We're not going to be able to guarantee a bunch of people in this movie otherwise. With this movie based on one of our most beloved movies, a movie so beloved that we made 2 direct-to-video sequels, equals in 2 television series off, a Broadway musical off of it.
It's still a running Broadway musical, which we have seen twice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they brought in Beyonce, and I'm not saying Beyonce's a bad actress. I'm not saying she's a bad singer. She's actually got a few songs that I actually really like. But it felt like they were kind of forcing her into this. I hear she's actually really good in the movie, so I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge what based on what we've got so far. I'm just saying that when they announced that Beyonce was being cast as Nala, I thought that this was very much a stunt casting of let's get these committed fans into the theater.
And it definitely doesn't hurt that Beyonce has a new original song on the soundtrack.
Yeah. So, speaking on the soundtrack, Elton John and Tim Rice returned to record a new song. Le Bohème and Hans Zimmer returned to create new music for the movie, including a new original score. The original songs from the first movie are back and sung by the cast. We've got Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Hakuna Matata, The Circle of Life. It's huge, and yeah, the photorealistic animals from everything we've seen so far look amazing, and nothing like the horror shows from the Cats trailer that came out literally less than an hour, pretty much like 2 hours ago,
like an hour and a half ago maybe,
from the time of this recording.
We watched it and we were horrified. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Tom Hooper. I didn't need to sleep tonight.
So yeah, it's good that they decided to do this. It's different, but the thing is, when you have a movie as good as The Lion King, it's hard to justify making it for any reason other than money. Now, I think Jon Favreau has pretty much justified it by saying that they're telling the story in a different way, and that's pretty much my main justification for remaking a movie.
If you can tell a good story, it doesn't matter. Original stories don't really exist anymore.
There's about 7 different stories, and they all are being retold in different ways.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, we have so many different formulas now that you can almost tell most ways that a movie could end after a certain amount of time in the theater, no matter what.
But I'm just gonna say this: if you don't like it, don't see it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. If you don't like the fact that Disney is remaking their old stuff, don't go see it. If you don't like the constant remakes and sequels and this constant bad remakes and bad sequels and bad attempts to cash in on stuff, like literally today, as I said, they're doing a Jay and Silent Bob reboot. They're making a sequel to Top Gun. They are releasing a Cats. They're putting out a movie based on Cats.
All 3 of those trailers dropped today.
And that's just the beginning of all the remakes, reboots, and sequels that are coming out. So, but if you don't like them, if you want to support original ideas, support original ideas. We have done a few episodes of the show where we have literally said, this movie is great, this movie's an original idea, go support this original idea.
Yeah.
But you never do.
They always fail at the box office. Yesterday is not doing as well as most people would think.
The Kid Who Would Be King became the first box office bomb of the year.
And it's not that we've paid our money to see these movies. We're not like we don't go to press screenings or anything. Sneak our way into press screenings or anything.
Unless someone wants to give us a press pass.
Unless somebody wants to give us into press screenings, please.
But that's it. we're the ones paying our money for this, and that's why most of these movies we come out of them like, yeah, that was pretty good.
Because we're not going to see because we're not going to put our money towards seeing a crappy movie. That's why we didn't see Fantastic. That's why we didn't see Transformers 5.
That's why we didn't see Hellboy. That's why we didn't see X-Men Dark Phoenix. We are only really going out to see movies
We're only gonna go out of our way to see good We're only really gonna go out of our way to see good movie and put our money down to see good movies for the most part. I'm still pissed off about Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be throwing. We're still just gonna. So it's The Lion King. We're gonna go see The Lion King. Hopefully we'll enjoy The Lion King.
This is at least the second time we've seen this in the theater. We've seen this movie in the theater. We don't know if we saw it multiple. We don't know if we got to take him to see it multiple times.
But yeah, it's The Lion King.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see you on the other side because I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. See ya. So before we get into this, little theater etiquette. If you show up late to a screening and you please have the common fucking courtesy to not shine a flashlight around and be an idiot.
Don't shine a flashlight around, don't bug everyone, just find a seat. At this point it's not even about assigned seats, just
hold on.
Sorry about that. Anyway, when you are going into a theater late, this is not even about assigned seating anymore. Just find a place to sit. Don't shine your flashlight around.
And definitely don't make a scene when somebody tells you to sit the fuck down.
Because that happened in our screening. About 20 minutes into the movie.
Not even. Like, maybe even 10 minutes into this movie.
A group came in, they shined their flashlight around, then they found what were, I guess, supposed to be their seats, and immediately began to cause a bit of a scene. So, please, if you are coming in late to a movie, do not shine your flashlight around, just find seats.
So anyway, about the movie.
The movie is pretty okay.
It's Lion King. It's basically The Lion King.
Compared to the original, it's not as good, but when it comes to shot-for-shot recreations, which, it's not completely shot-for-shot, but watching the Circle of Life sequence, you'd be tricked into thinking it was.
Yeah. One thing is, it stretches a lot just to make it 2 hours long so that it feels like a longer movie.
And that's not a bad thing. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
The visuals are fantastic.
It's the photorealistic animation is amazing. Caleb Deschanel, yes, father of Zoe and Emily, but a legendary cinematographer in his own right, creates an incredible visual masterpiece to look at. But it's. But the thing is that there are points where the photorealistic animals, it does kind of look a little weird.
The fact that they're not emoting through their faces isn't really helpful. Which is
kind of weird because the Jungle Book 4 years ago actually did this incredibly well when they would merge a few of the characters' faces with their actual actors.
Well, although this time around I think they were going way more for photorealistic this time around, so because obviously the original cartoon had this less realistic animals, but it definitely loses something from the original movie because you don't have like Mufasa hugging Rafiki in the Circle of Life, or you don't have some of the more grander visuals from I Just Can't Wait to Be King.
But it's kind of fun the way that they work around some of this stuff. Like one particular scene where there's a whole flock of flamingos around, and as they fly away, you suddenly see Zazu mixed into the crowd standing on a twig that you could not see because he was mixed in with the flamingos. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And the voice acting is almost uniformly great even. Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner are clearly playing these Timon and Pumbaa with this kind of energy to them that's awesome, just trying to make each other laugh.
Which makes sense because Timon and Pumbaa were our favorite characters in the original movie, so obviously we're going to love Timon and Pumbaa, and having Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner work off each other, they make Timon and Pumbaa work.
Especially because it seems like at points they actually kind of rewrote Timon to kind of be a Billy Eichner character.
Yeah.
And
Not like Craig from Parks and Rec, but
but the kind of characters he plays in literally anything else that he's in.
yeah.
And Seth Rogen obviously was perfect casting as Pumbaa, just simply because the voice that Ernie Sabella in the original was using was very much Seth Rogen before Seth Rogen became one of the most popular comedic movie stars of this era.
Also, he was like 10 when the original Lion King came out.
Yeah, so that's in there, and John Oliver turning into the skid that basically he created by playing a bird.
Yeah. Chiwetel Ejiofor does great as Scar. James Earl Jones as Mufasa is great. John Carney as Rafiki. Beyonce as Nala. Everybody does a great job. Donald Glover as Simba, especially with the singing parts where he's being able to keep it toe to toe with Beyonce.
Just kind of knocks it out of. Donald Glover kind of knocks it out of the park more than I kind of thought he would, just because everyone was saying, oh, everyone sounds a little flat. I think I was able to see past the whole photorealistic. They can't move their face emote as much to actually get a glimpse of what their performances were.
Yeah.
And that's good. Look, we got Keegan-Michael Key and Eric Andre, a little weaker than they usually are as comedic relief characters.
I mean, it's a lot of the comedic stuff has been taken out of the movie because, again, we're going a little less cartoony this time around. So,
which is fine when you're doing something like this where you're like, it's a live action remake, let's make it a little more realistic.
But with them and Timon and Pumbaa, it feels like a lot of the personality kind of got sucked out because they have to be less they could be less cartoony and do less things of the nature that they did in the original.
I mean, it's there occasionally, but yeah, it kind of feels like they took a lot of the humor out and forgot to actually replace it with humor that fits more of the tone in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But the music is still fantastic.
Yeah.
Even Hans Zimmer and Ivo M's original new score, new arrangements, all that stuff. It's still amazing.
Pharrell stepping in to produce the songs coming back. It was a good choice. And Beyonce's new song Spirit fits in there perfectly.
My biggest disappointment really is how little of Be Prepared is in there. I understand that maybe Chiwetel Ejiofor wasn't as good a singer as they would hope if they were going to make Be Prepared. Maybe they felt they didn't want to spend too much time on this, but Be Prepared is one of the most popular villain songs in the Disney canon.
Which is probably the reason why when everybody was like, wait, Be Prepared's not going to be in the movie?
They worked it in somehow. And yeah, it's nice that Tim Rice seemed to have written new lyrics for it so that it could fit a bit more into the whole thing. I just kind of miss it. I mean, Jafar was my favorite has always been my favorite Disney villain, which is why it's kind of weird I wasn't more mad at the Aladdin remake. But Be Prepared, it's one of the best villain songs that they ever created for a Disney movie, and it just kind of feels hollow when it finally does come in.
Which makes you a little concerned for what they're going to do with Hellfire when they eventually do Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah. But either way, yeah, it's not better than the original, but it's solid.
Yeah.
Solid construction.
It's got all the beats pretty well. It's got a lot of stretching to make it fit to 2 hours. There's not a lot added. It's mostly just adding a little extra visual flair.
Which, really, not bad. It's not that bad visual flair. And yeah, it's kind of a bit of a stretch in and yeah, it's kind of a little weird that some of it is that they just that this movie even exists. But hey, it's still The Lion King.
Yeah. Do
you like The Lion King? It's The Lion King.
It's The Lion King. It sticks around. It's the
Lion King. The Lion King has survived way more than just a live action remake.
I mean, have you seen The Lion Guard?
We haven't, so we don't even know if it's that bad.
It's not that great. From what I've seen, it's not that great.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's all right. It's not great. It's not bad. We might pick it up on Blu-ray. Maybe we'll watch it on Disney Plus when it comes around to that.
Yeah. But until next, but I guess that's it for this time, guys. We kind of got sidetracked because of something else. Because something else came up, but that's not important.
Yeah. So be sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to tune in next time when Daddy's gonna go to work. Bye.
Bye.